I have had the opportunity to live in the state of New York for the majority of my life. Over 30 years, I actually lived in the state of New York, right? Where the gun laws are very strict. And it's almost like a fire alarm, some button you could push. Because let me tell you something. If you live in New York and you see a gun, there's trouble. So say you live in New York and you see somebody with a gun out. Somebody about to get shot. Somebody about to get robbed. Something bad about to happen. But I've also had the opportunity to live in the Midwest. And everybody got guns. Go to the gas station, it's a girl walking in with a pink gun with an extended clip in it, right? Now look. There was a time when I felt extremely nervous whenever somebody had a gun. Like, oh, this nigga motherfucker got a gun. But that's the New York in me, like, whoo. But you get used to it. Me personally, I don't trust humans that feel like every human is up to no good. Reason being is because a lot of times people is projecting how they really feel on the world. You don't trust people because you aren't trustworthy as a motherfucker. You don't want to believe because you're a non-believer. So let's just get to this. You know, when it comes to gun laws, it get tricky out here.
And all across, and there hasn't been a mass shooting there in years.
And those people are dependent upon what their government tells them what they can and can't do. They're not free. You're not truly free if you can't defend yourself.
So, do you mean by carrying it?
Yes, I'm carrying it right now.
See, and nothing about that makes me feel safe, though. I'm saying nothing about someone carrying a gun makes me feel safe. It makes me feel threatened. Okay, and that's what this is about.
Listen.
This is about feelings. Yes, it is.
And that's what this is about. This is about feelings. Now, I don't know if the girl talking was a child. Maybe 16, 17, 18, 19, maybe even 20-something years old. But one thing that you definitely don't want to say is that it's about feelings as opposed to facts. Right? Because if a policeman walks in there with a gun, does she necessarily start to feel nervous? If so, are we at the point in society where we're saying the only humans on the whole planet worth trusting are police? While meanwhile, a whole fucking culture, a whole group of people, white, black, and everything else is running around screaming, fuck 12. It sounds like y'all don't believe in nothing. Sounds like you can't trust nothing. All people with guns are bad guys. And boo, don't get no money from the NRA. I wish I did. But even if I did, my tone wouldn't change. Because the NRA wouldn't like that. I think that there should be some kind of laws with guns. Oh yeah, boo, get to that. They're not going to be no strict laws. I think every single American citizen should have the right to own a gun. What? Every American mature citizen. There should be some way to prove you deserve to have it. Should you be able to buy a gun at 18? I don't think so. Should you be able to buy a gun at 21? I don't kind of think so. How about 25? I think at 25 years old, every American should be allowed to buy and own a firearm that doesn't have serious mental health issues. Maybe we should make it a little harder to buy a gun. It ain't illegal to own a gun no fucking where, but it is a little bit harder to really buy one and own one. Because at some point, track record has to matter. So I don't want it to be about feelings. Me, myself, personally, I want it to be about fact. Well, boo and non-fact, for sure.
Kill you? Don't care about your feelings, though.
Exactly. That's the problem. That's the problem. There's absolutely no...
I damn near feel bad for him. He says somebody coming to kill you, don't care about your feelings. Now, y'all know I raised a young lady, Deuce. And I always told her, like, her feelings don't matter. I told Medkit that. And it was definitely a shock at some points. Like, what you mean my feelings don't matter? Bro, it is incredibly unfair and biased for you to think that your feelings matter. You know why? Because if somebody broke in your house today and killed you, fuck, guns illegal, with a knife, and then he got in front of the judge and was like, yo, man, I was in my feelings. You want the judge to let him go? You want him to get a lighter sentence? Be lenient on him. How about if your moms get into it with your stepdad and your stepdad kill your moms? How about if your stepmoms kill your dad? How about somebody kidnap your kid and do something heinous? And they just was having feelings. And yeah, the police, the ones with the guns, come and get them. But then he get to court and he like, you know, I was feeling like this. And the judge let him go. Then what? So let's be careful when we start talking about how important we want feelings to be. We know feelings ain't always right.
Sympathy, no sympathy.
I'm up here fighting to protect your right to be able to defend yourself against people that want to do you harm.
Can I ask
But-
something?
Please,
Why do you feel the need to carry that?
to be able to defend myself.
So you think when you come here that someone's going to
There are people,
intentionally hurt
okay, look
you?
at the crime rate in Indiana, or in Indianapolis. People get shot.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Oftentimes, more often by people that are multiply convicted on felony accounts. These are people that shouldn't have guns. The law says you cannot have a gun. The law is not so. One, the law didn't stop them the first time. The law didn't stop them the second, third, or fourth time. These are people that don't care about how many laws we put on the books.
And that's why House Bill.
Yo, I really hope homie don't get slandered too crazy about that. Ooh, Weezy. I feel like those young ladies that might have been talking to homie was misguided. I'm going to tell y'all a story. Right? I think I talked about this on the stream before. My best friend Push. I had just done over 10 years in state prison. He had just done about 6-7 years in federal prison. And from all accounts, I guess federal prison is a little worse than state prison, right? So, he was always wild. We were some wild boys, but he was wilder, right? And we were sitting in his car. I had just came home. He was home for a little while before me. So, we was sitting in his car. He was shuffling me around. Yo, listen, it was lit. It was up. He had a Rolex. When I came home, he already had a Rolex. He had a Lexus. Like, he was able to just pull random chicks up for me. Cook a suit. Like, yo, you want, like, what's up, yo, my man? I'm like, yo, bro, chill out, right? But I remember talking to him and he was like, yo, I gotta have a gun. And I was like, even like, you feel like at all times, like, on your person? Because in New York, a lot of times dudes will leave their guns, like, for when it's like, because to get caught with a gun in New York is serious. He said, yo, I just can't imagine anybody having the advantage over me like that. It's niggas out here with guns. So the only way that I could ever become an advocate for nobody having guns is if nobody have guns. And I'm talking police included. Because my man was fucking a cop daughter, stole his whole belt, stole a whole police belt with everything that be on the police belt, walkie-talkie, speed loader for a 6-shooter, all that shit, right? And sold it to me. And I was about 15 or some shit. And I was like, ooh, I'm going to shoot me a nigga with this. So the only time I'm going to think that when the Boo and I get bigger and we get more lit, I might need security. Y'all know how I be talking sometimes? You might want to run up on me and potentially put me back in jail. I just did over 10 and a half years in prison. Like, why would I be thinking, like, I'm about to riff with niggas? Like, I'm on my social media shit like everybody else, man. But I want my security to have guns. I want it to be legal guns. I want to say, hey, man, I'm not about to be, hey, look, somebody run up on me, they getting out of control, man. I want you to down them.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
Sir, I would like you to vanquish them to the fucking shadow realm. I want them out of here. Gone. Or whatever. Tidy and right on up. Cause I don't got time to wrestle with ignorant niggas that don't understand. Hold on, gang. You know what? You're wasting space here on the planet Earth. You just taking up air and breath, and somebody might need to send you to the shadow realm. So I would definitely be with certain checks and balances being in place, but not all people with guns are up to no good. If you can't admit that to yourself, then you bugged out because the police, like, you gonna call 911. So you live in a state where ain't no people don't got somebody breaking your crib, ain't no guns legal there. You gonna call 911 and go in your closet. What if it was a thing like, hey, yo, let me check your address. So we only coming to the addresses of people that agree with the gun laws. Imagine the police like, yo, bro, you don't rock with us. Fuck 12. You don't want nobody to have guns. You know what? We don't come to certain address. What's your address? 4289 Broadway Place? Yeah. Got you on a no response list, gang. We don't even want to bring guns around you, brother. Hey, handle that. They ain't got no gun and you ain't got one. Get out there, defend yourself. You know that judo? You know that karate? Yeah, get to using that motherfucker then. Sometimes it gotta be like, you know how they talk about like give and take, like nowadays, man, humans be incredibly non-flexible. I ain't talking about when fucking and all. I'm talking about just like in their ideologies and their motherfucking opinions. And that's just like crazy shit, man.